Welcome to the Explainer. So if you're a manufacturing owner, you know this feeling, right? You've got this perfect plan, but it just falls apart the second it hits the factory floor. Well, today we're looking at a framework called non-ERP that's designed not just to survive that chaos, but to actually profit from it.
Okay, let's just dive right in. Picture this, because if you run a plant, this is going to sound way too familiar. It always begins with the plan. So you spent hours, maybe even days, getting that schedule just right. I mean, it's a thing of beauty. It's efficient, it's optimized, it's perfect. But we all know what happens next. The plan is one thing, and the moment it hits the floor, yeah, reality takes over. Because, let's be real, in an actual plant, things are never perfect. Yields, they're all over the place. Scrap, yep, it happens. That changeover that's supposed to take 20 minutes, good luck. It just took 45. Your key vendor is a day late. Your best operator calls in sick. And just like that, priorities are shifting from minute to minute. This is just the constant, beautiful chaos of manufacturing.
Okay, so if all this chaos is just normal, right? Then why do these huge, expensive enterprise resource planning systems, or ERPs, so often seem to be fighting against reality instead of actually helping us manage it? Let's get to the real core of the problem here.
And here it is. This is the fundamental disconnect. On one side, you've got the world of ERPs. They're built on this, fantasy that production is predictable and deterministic. They expect clean data and for plans to be executed perfectly. It's like trying to navigate a wild, changing landscape with a perfect but totally static map. And then, you've got the other side, manufacturing reality, which is all about probability, right? It's a world of likelihoods, messy handwritten notes, and tribal knowledge, a total mismatch. And this is where all the frustration comes from, the stuff so many of you feel every single day. This conflict is why you get these slow, painful implementations. It's why your highly skilled operators get turned into data entry clerks. And even after all that work, the official numbers in the system, they're often still wrong. And by the time you get a report, the decision it was supposed to help you with, that ship has sailed.
So if that old model is just plain broken, what does a framework that's actually built for reality look like? Let's get into a completely different way of thinking about this.
Now this is super important to get. Non-ERP is not about ripping out and replacing your current systems. This is not another massive multi-year software project. Nope. Think of it more like an intelligent decision-making layer that just sits right on top of what you already have. It's designed specifically to help you navigate the chaos, not to replace the plumbing.
This whole framework, it's built with this relentless, laser-like focus on one single goal. It's not about, ooh, pretty dashboards or look at all these new features. The one and only objective is to increase the long-term profit of your business. Period. Anything that doesn't directly serve that goal is just noise. So how does it do that? Well, it operates on a few really smart core principles. First, and most importantly, it just embraces the fact that manufacturing is probabilistic. It accepts uncertainty. It doesn't fight it. Second, it gets that the real critical information isn't always in neat little data fields. It's in the emails, the scrap notes, the stuff your experienced operators just know. And here's the kicker. It models all this messy reality first and proves its value on a small scale before you even think about a big rollout.
And that modeling of reality, it's done with something called a digital twin. Now, don't think of this as some static diagram. It's more like a living, breathing simulation of your plant. It gets the rules, sure, but it also understands the real-world variability. This means you can start asking really powerful questions like, hey, what happens to our schedule if that vendor is 2 days late? And you can see the likely impact on your costs and delivery dates before you commit a single resource on the floor. It's like a crystal ball for your operations.
Okay, so that sounds powerful in theory, but how do you actually put this thing into practice? The key is this focused, phased approach that completely avoids the big bang disruption that everyone hates about traditional projects.
It's a really practical 4-step process. First step, you don't try to boil the ocean. You just pick one single choke point, the place that's really constraining your profit. Maybe it's scheduling, maybe it's material availability. Then, you ingest all the real-world signals about that problem, even the messy ones. Third, you build the digital twin for just that one area. And finally, and this part is genius, you run it in a safe proof mode to validate its recommendations against what's actually happening. And that last step, proof mode,
is done with absolutely zero operational risk. You can run it in shadow mode, where the system just makes predictions in the background, and you can compare them to what really happened. Or you can use assisted mode, where it gives recommendations to a supervisor who still has the final say. There's no big, scary switch to flip. It's all about proving it works safely.
All right, now let's talk about the most important part for any business owner, the results. This framework isn't about vague promises of future value. It's about delivering measurable, concrete proof right from the very start.
And success here is defined in the harshest, most objective terms possible. We're not talking about vanity metrics like user engagement or how many people looked at the dashboard. The only thing that actually matters is whether the system improved real bottom-line business KPIs.
And these are the specific, measurable improvements a successful proof has to deliver. We're talking about better on-time delivery, which is huge, lower expediting costs, less overtime, less scrap and rework. All of this ultimately leads to a higher contribution margin, the actual profit you're making on each and every job. I mean, these are the numbers that really define the health of a manufacturing business.
You know, what's so powerful about this whole approach is what it's intentionally designed to prevent. It avoids those big bang, multi-year implementations. It doesn't force you to change your entire business just to match some software. It definitely won't turn your operators into data entry clerks. And most importantly, it stops pretending that the plan is the same thing as reality.
This quote from the source material just nails it. It says, "Manufacturing performance is driven by uncertainty and local constraints. Non-ERP wins by modeling that uncertainty instead of ignoring it." Think about that. Traditional systems fail because they try to ignore the very thing that actually drives performance. This framework wins precisely because it starts with that uncertainty and uses it to make you smarter.
And that really is the final thought we want to leave you with. It's a fundamental question about how you're running your plant. Are you making your big decisions based on a perfect plan that you already know is going to break? Or are you ready to make decisions based on the messy, unpredictable, and ultimately more profitable reality of your factory floor?